Good morning. And it actually still is morning. It's 11:48 as I start this video, so it is morning. Oh, and it has been a busy morning for me. I went to bed last night around midnight. After I got off work, I went and volunteered to work an LGBT gala put on by our LGBT center here in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. I had to think about it for a moment. And they were doing the Fab Gala last night. And I worked from 4 p.m. right after I got off work. I went directly there and worked from 4 to 10, you know. Volunteered my time to help out because I couldn't have gone otherwise. It would have ended up costing me money, and it was actually a good time, but my feet were sore. I was wearing boots with a low heel, and my feet were sore when it was all said and done. I mean, it was just like, wow. So I got home. I spent a few minutes. Actually, I spent about a half hour screwing around on a computer because I had not been on a computer for 6 hours. Actually, about 8 hours because I hadn't done much while I was at work. And then got in the tub and soaked. And then stayed up and watched a little bit of Guardians of the Galaxy. When I say a little bit, I mean I started about 20 minutes into it and finished it off. So it was about 12:30 when I went to bed last night. And I actually slept until about 7:30. So I got 7 hours of sleep, uninterrupted sleep. That's an indication I was really tired. Excuse me. That was an indication I was really tired because whenever I get 7 hours of uninterrupted sleep, my body is telling me you need to rest, and I did. So I said I was going to rest up this weekend. So far I haven't. Oh well, kind of not. I went to Cracker Barrel at about, it was about 9 o'clock this morning to get breakfast and had their version of steak and eggs, which is a huge ass breakfast. So I don't need to eat until dinner time. You know, it's one of those deals. And then I went to Funtastic in Mechanicsburg and I picked up a pair of knee gaskets. And the reason I'm getting knee gaskets is if you've been following some of my practice exploits online on my Facebook page, you'll see that I've been having a little bit of trouble with my left knee. There's been, when I get it in a certain angle, which just happens to be like the angle you need for derby position, I'll start getting twinges, especially as I'm going through the turns. And by twinges, I mean it feels like my knee's about to collapse sometimes. And it caused me to fall out of a couple of the drills when I was at York on Thursday night for practice. So I got these knee gaskets, which are essentially designed to give your knee more protection. They go under your pads and they give your knee more protection, but at the same time they're tight enough and it gives your knee also more support. So that'll help. Also, I was told last night, because a couple of my teammates were actually helping out at the gala as well last night, and one of them, she's had issues with her knee off and on this season, and she said ice it down when you get home. So I threw an ice pack on, and that was one of the reasons why I stayed up and watched Guardians of the Galaxy, because I was icing down my knee. And I'm actually icing it down right now, but it has helped. A lot of the swelling that I had in that area, it's gone down. And part of it was we had at our bout last Sunday, we had a player, not on our team, but on the South Maryland team. She snapped her ankle. I mean, snapped it. It ended up holding the game for 20 minutes. a lot of screaming, and we all went down on a knee, and I went down on my knee hard and actually scabbed it up. I hit the ground so hard because, there's this funny thing. When you're used to going down on your knees wearing knee pads, you kind of forget that when you don't have knee pads on, you need to not go down so hard. And I popped down on my knee. I was like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. So I think I was already starting to get a few twinges in there. And then when I did that, it just kind of jacked something up in there. But I'm icing down my knee, taking ibuprofen. It's helping. It's helping a lot. So mainly I'm doing this because I want to participate in this special practice we're having. We're having a 3-hour clinic with a player from Victoria Roller Derby League from Australia. And I have one of the slots. I actually think I'm going to be one of the few non-certified players who's going to be there. And it's because, our team is the one that's putting this on, and I only need my 27.5 to certify. So, my coach said, you're going to be there. I'm really looking forward to this, but I want to be able to do it. It's 3 hours, and I have a feeling it's going to be 3 hours of, derby hell. But hey, I'm gonna do this. This is my thing. Anyway, and then I stopped at Lane Bryant to pick up some. I wanted to get some leggings for working out, and I picked up a pair of regular length leggings, which I'm actually wearing right now, and then I picked up a pair of capri leggings. I wanted to pick up a pair of bicycle short leggings, and they didn't have those. They had what they called knee leggings, and they went right to my knee. I was like, no, I don't want that. And then I bought 7 pair of underwear because I needed new underwear. So when it was all said and done, I spent about $105 on clothes, and then I'm going back on Friday because they're having a girls' night out, and they're gonna promise to style me. And I got my eye on a red dress I saw there that I want to wear to our team banquet next month, which I will be going to alone. Bitches don't want to go out with me. Fuck them. Be there lost, because when you see me in this stunning ass red dress, and I'm going to see if I can find a pair of red heels that'll go with it, and you're going to see me in that dress, and you're going to say, oh, I should have been her date. Yeah, you should have, bitch. You should have. So anyway, what about writing, Cassidy? I really do need to get back into writing. Like I said yesterday, as soon as I certify, one of the things I'm hoping to do is, that'll free up my Tuesdays. And I'll be able to write more. Last couple of days, I have not been as sleepy. And who yawned? When I get home from work, so I haven't really been taking a nap or anything. And I'm hoping that I can start getting back into the swing of when I have time before practice, I can, knock off 500 words here, 500 words there. Because I do feel like, oh God, you're being lazy as hell. And today I'm probably not going to get into any writing until later tonight, because about 2:30 or so I'm going to go over to a friend's house and we're going to watch the WFDA championships for Division I that are in Philadelphia right now. A lot of my teammates, some of my teammates, are out there watching it, both on Harrisburg and York. One of my teammates, a couple of teammates, they bought the weekend package to stream, so they're going to stream it onto their TV, and I'm going over there to watch this afternoon. And then tomorrow I may either go over to their place, but they're going to broadcast the final on TV, but I may go over there because I think there's a few people that are going over to watch the final tomorrow night. And the woman who's going to give us our Derby clinic, she's going to be our guest coach on Monday. They're expected to actually compete for the title. So, could have a champion. But anyway, yeah, I want to get back into the writing because I am feeling kind of lazy. I have had this attitude of late that, I'm just checking my phone to make certain where to charge it. I have had this attitude of late, I haven't really felt much like writing. It could just be, all that burnout I talked about is finally caught up with me. But I've also noticed that I'm spending more time thinking about my characters for a while here, for about 3 or 4 months over the summer. I wasn't thinking about the characters as much as I normally do. And now I find I'm going back to that. But one of the unusual things that I'm doing is I'm thinking about the characters, and you know which ones I'm talking about. I'm talking about Annie and Carrie. I'm thinking about their position as adults and how their lives as adults are shaped by what they did when they were in school, which goes back and affects things that are happening there. We are shaped by events that occurred when we were younger. And some of those events caused us to become the people we are. Some of those events forced us to change who we could have become. Yeah. I mean, I'm a perfect example of that. It took me 50 years, but I changed. Yeah. And as I've stated before, I came from a family that was kind of racist. And I don't feel that I'm like that. I had to fight hard because I'll admit as a kid, I said and did some racist shit. I admit it. And I've put that behind me. I've walked away from it as much as I can. And I do feel ashamed that I was actually like that at one point. And I didn't say anything about it or do anything about it until I got older and realized, you're being an asshole. And what they said was wrong, so don't do that. One of the interesting things that I started getting into with looking at them as an adult is that there was an event that I was thinking up for a story. Yeah. And it goes back to, what's the relationship they have with the Phoenix? And that is an unusual relationship because I'm sitting there thinking, why does the Phoenix seem to take an interest in these two kids? I mean, it has been stated. We saw her in the first book doing her A&Es or E&As with the kids. Can't say A&E, I'll get in trouble. E&As with the kids. And then we saw her again in the B-level novel where she was essentially coming to Carrie's rescue because she admitted she screwed up, but then revealed the biggest secret about them, one that Deanna already knew, was that they had an astral bond. And we've already seen her show up in the C-level novel, pointing out the two biggest flaws that the kids have, which is they have parental issues going back to, I want recognition from my parents. Specifically, Annie wants recognition from her father, who she feels has been kind of lacking. Daddy is just not showing the love she wants. And with Carrie, he has mommy issues, and we know his mother is a complete shit to him. There's just something there that, yeah, Carrie's her son, but boy, there are times when you get the impression she wishes he wasn't. And it's kind of fucked both these kids up, in a way, in a subtle way. Carrie more so than Annie, because Annie's learned how to control those feelings. She's become cold and unemotional at times, simply because of her relationship with her father. You know, it's like, I'm not going to show you my emotions. I'm not going to let you see me cry. And she's never done that, you know. And that was something she was working on as a little girl. Carrie, on the other hand, is far more emotional, and he doesn't have a problem showing it. And the Phoenix is going to pop up again in the third act. You will see her appear. And this is mostly because, you know, the kids are learning how to walk the astral realm physically. So, you know, she's actually going to show up at some point and have a little conversation with them. I know she also shows up in the E-level novel. She shows up big time. And she also shows up in the F-level novel. She actually will have a couple of appearances in the F-level novel as well. So I started thinking about, well, what am I going to do with her in the D-level novel? And it was actually today while I was out, I realized, now I know what her place is going to be in the D-level novel, which is basically going to be kind of an explanation, sort of why she is interested in the kids. What sort of interest do they pose to her? You know, I mean, to her and her sisters, humans are like nothing. I mean, it's just like bugs to us. There's a lot of them, and they get in the way. And sometimes they're annoying, and sometimes they're scary. But she seems to take an interest in Annie and Carrie. We don't know how active an interest that is, but she does seem to take one. So in the D-level novel, that'll kind of get explained, why she finds the kids interesting, and not because they're having sex at 12. Well, not intercourse, let's put it that way, but we do know, I'm slowly getting through that, we do know that they engaged in a bit of hanky-panky, and they are still active at 14 and 13. They're doing things that their parents don't know about. Those kids. So now when somebody is sitting there thinking, get a room, you can rest assured that they're also thinking, let's get a room. And once again, as we saw, Annie is the aggressive one. She really is. Annie is the aggressive one. Annie was the one that decided, let's just do this. I want to do this. I'm going to do it. Yeah. Annie is aggressive. And again, what Annie wants, Annie gets. Annie wanted to get into the tub with Carrie au natural, and that's where they're at. That's where we were at the last time. That's what she wanted. You know, 12 years old, doesn't matter. Her mind is already made up. She knows what she wants. And boom, and that's what we got. So, you gotta love Annie. Carrie probably would have not made a move on Annie until, like, I don't know, 15? 14, 15, who knows? It's likely the old Carrie at A-level Carrie definitely would not have ever made a move on Annie until he was much older. C-level Carrie is far wiser, but that's because of everything that's happened in the last 2 years. So, and he's more comfortable around Annie. That's the thing that's really important. Since the end of their B-levels, they've actually started to think of each other as husband and wife. I know, it sucks. You're 13 years old and it's like you're already thinking about you're being married. And so that's one of the things that you're seeing in their comfort level with each other is they are kind of treating each other like they're a married couple. So it's not a big deal to them. They probably don't think of, they probably are not at all self-conscious about getting unclothed in front of one another now. Because to them, it's been going on for 1.5 years, and oh well, she's my wife and I'm her husband, and sometimes wife. We haven't really gotten into that discussion. That will actually come up later in the Sea Level novel about how Carrie feels relating to Annie, not as a husband, but as a wife, and some of the stuff that she has begun to notice. So it's not going to be smooth sailing. Not always. But you will find out something rather unusual about Carrie at that point. All I got to do is get around to writing it. It's probably like 100,000 words off in the distance. Probably 150. I don't know. There's a lot going on in the novel right now that I'm really having trouble pulling together. It probably is a bit of writer's block. It is probably a little bit of I'm just tired and burnt out, because really when it comes right down to it, a lot of writer's block is just being tired and burnt out, and you just can't get it together. And that's sort of what I'm feeling right now. And I'm hoping once all the anxiety of practice and everything is over, once I can certify, I can relax a little bit and go, yeah, I can concentrate on writing again. I really do. Because I've been working on this novel for 1.5 years, and I'm not even probably halfway through it. And in the past, 1.5 years, and boom, I'm done with, 2 novels in 1.5 years on each one. So, but life gets in the way, Sometimes that happens. So I hope you have a great day. I hope everything is going well for you. And I'll let you know how practice is going. But I'll probably have another excerpt tomorrow. And I'm even going to try to get one out on Monday. I'll see how it goes. I have laundry to do, so I can do some extra writing while I'm doing laundry to do tomorrow. So we'll see. Okay, everyone, take care, have fun, and I will see you around on the blog.